Hello, welcome to the Wealth Starting Line. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.
Welcome to The Explainer. Today, we're diving into a technology that is quietly, but very, very quickly, reshaping how money moves around the entire globe. We're talking about stablecoins. And it seems like all of a sudden, everybody is rushing into this space, from governments to the biggest names in tech and finance. So the big question is, why? Why is this all happening right now? Well, for starters, in the United States, you've got the Senate moving super fast to get your laws on the books. They're trying to regulate stablecoins, but also encourage their growth. That's a huge shift in policy. And at the same time, payment giants like Stripe and massive banks like JP Morgan, they're not waiting around for the green light. They are already busy building their very own stablecoins. It's even hitting the political scene. You know, a technology has officially gone mainstream when companies connected to big political names, like the Trump family, are launching their own stablecoin. And this isn't just a Western thing, not at all. Over in Asia, you've got tech titans like China's JD.com and Ant Group all piling in. This has become a truly global race for who gets to dominate this new space. So yeah, this is way more than just hype. It's a global gold rush, and the stakes are absolutely massive. So what exactly is this new digital gold, and why is everyone scrambling for a piece of it? Okay, let's break it down. At its heart, a stablecoin is incredibly simple. It's a digital token that lives on a blockchain. You know, that super secure, shared digital ledger, and it's built to always be worth a specific amount. Usually, that's $1. So just think of it as all the cool tech of crypto, but without those wild, heart-stopping price swings. So how does it stay stable? Well, the magic is really in the promise of redemption. For every single digital token they create, the company behind it holds $1 or something just as safe in their reserves. And because you can always trade one of their tokens back for one real dollar, the market price stays locked or pegged at $1. You know, a really simple way to think about it is like game coins or maybe even loyalty points. But there's one crucial difference. Instead of being backed by just a company's promise, these are backed by huge real-world reserves of cash and assets. And that makes them feel a whole lot more like actual money. Now, this market is pretty much dominated by two huge players. You've got Tether's USD, which has the lion's share at 60%, and then Circle's USDC, holding about a quarter of the market. So, if one token equals $1, how in the world are these companies making billions? Well, it turns out to be one of the most brilliant and lucrative business models out there. The formula is pretty straightforward. They take the billions of real dollars that people give them for tokens, then they invest all those reserves in super safe, interest-bearing stuff like short-term US government bonds. They'll always give you your dollar back when you want to cash out, sure, but they get to keep all the interest that money earned in the meantime. And the profits are just staggering. Tether, for example, made over $13 billion in profit last year. And get this, with only about 100 employees, that works out to over $100 million in profit per employee. It's honestly one of the most profitable business models on the entire planet. But this isn't just some financial curiosity for investors. It's already a super powerful tool with some very real-world uses. It's completely transforming how money moves, especially when you need to send it across borders. Yeah, their biggest impact so far has been on international payments. The old way, through banks, it can take days, and you're going to get hit with fees of over 5%. With stablecoins, that same transfer takes minutes, and the fees are practically zero. I mean, that's not just an improvement, that is a revolution. And the scale this has reached is just mind-blowing. In 2024, the total transaction volume on stablecoin networks is projected to hit nearly $28 trillion. That's more than the combined annual volume of Visa and MasterCard. But you know, beyond just being faster and cheaper, they've become an actual financial lifeline for people in countries dealing with crazy high inflation and strict money controls. Folks in places like Argentina and Nigeria are using stablecoins to save and to do business in a stable digital version of the US dollar, protecting their family's wealth from getting wiped out. So, with all this explosive growth and real-world adoption, you can bet that governments have noticed. And that has kicked off a very high-stakes geopolitical race among the world's superpowers to regulate, to control, and ultimately to leverage this new financial frontier for themselves. And everyone's playing the game a little differently. The US seems to view stablecoins as a way to reinforce the dollar's dominance globally, and they're creating laws to help them grow. The EU, on the other hand, is being way more cautious, putting strict limits in place to protect their own financial stability. And then you have China, which is using Hong Kong as a sort of test lab to experiment with its own stablecoins, hoping to give the offshore yuan a major boost. But here's the thing. This race is about so much more than just digital dollars. Stablecoins are really just the first step towards a much, much bigger vision, the future of all assets. Right, stablecoins are just the beginning. The bigger idea is called tokenization, which people are now calling real-world assets, or RWA. This is the idea that pretty much any real-world asset, we're talking stocks, bonds, art, real estate, you name it, can be turned into a digital token that you can trade instantly and transparently on a blockchain. And if you think this sounds like some far-off futuristic dream, it's not. It's already happening. BlackRock, the single biggest investment firm in the world, managing trillions of dollars, has already launched a tokenized fund on a public blockchain. When the biggest players in traditional finance start making moves like that, you know a massive shift is already underway. So what we're all watching happen right now, in real time, is a fundamental rewriting of the global financial system. This technology is forcing everyone, from the biggest banks to the most powerful governments, to adapt or risk being left behind. The question is no longer if this change is coming. The real question is, who is going to write the rules when it finally gets here?
Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe. See you next time.